So in the previous class, we have learnt about prospectus. See, these are the topics that are covered already. Definition of company, characteristics of company, classification of companies, formation of company, memorandum of association, and articles of association. And in the last class, I have discussed about prospectus. Yes, what is prospectus? What is prospectus? What is prospectus? Yes.
Investors.
Huh?
Investors.
So they will be
Yes, I did not get. I am unable to
they will
understand.
give
Investors.
minimum amount of capital.
Okay. So it is a statement. It is a document which explains about the company's various
Public issues.
activities, and it seeks money from the public, from the prospective shareholders. It seeks money. How much investment is required, for what purpose they are going to use that money, how many kinds of shares are there, everything will be mentioned in prospectus. See, so that is why a prospectus is a very, very important document. If a prospectus is not prepared properly, company will not be able to collect money. So it should be very attractive. So that is why some companies, what they will do is they will try to misstate in a prospectus. Misstatement means, see, suppose we go to bazaar, we go to a supermarket, we purchase a soap, let us take for example. We must have been influenced by an advertisement given by a superstar. He may be a film hero or he may be another idiot. Say he says, if you use this soap, your skin will become very healthy, your face will glow, you will become almost 20-30 years younger. Likewise, you will see advertisement, and seeing that advertisement, you are influenced, and you go to shop and you purchase it. And when you use, you faced some skin problem. Not only you, several persons have faced some skin problem. Let us take for example. So that is a misstatement in advertisement. See, whatever is happening, it is contrary, exactly opposite to whatever that idiot hero has shown in his advertisement. So why a company, a soap manufacturing company will do like that? Because to increase sales, the soap manufacturing company will do it. Similarly, some companies will try to give false statements in a prospectus in order to attract shareholders, prospective shareholders, for the want of money. Okay. So any misstatements in a prospectus will attract civil liability and criminal liability, are bound to attract civil liability and criminal liability. Okay. Civil liability will be, it may be initiated against the company, or it may be against the directors or promoters and experts. See, who is a promoter? Again, I am asking the question. Several times I mentioned, who is a promoter? Yes, who is a promoter?
The promoter brings money, machinery, men together, sir.
Very good. Men together to establish a company. He will work very hard. That person is known as promoter. So if they give misstatements, false statements in a prospectus, those statements are going to be punishable. So the person who is responsible for issuing those statements is punishable. So against the company, two kinds of actions may be taken: to rescind the contract, to claim for damages. So to cancel the contract, it may lead, those misstatements may lead to cancel the contract. Means the investment that is given by a shareholder may have to be returned to the shareholder because of the false statement in prospectus. They have invested money in the company. So in the previous class, I gave an example. In the previous classes, see, a company came forward to manufacture guns related to toy guns for children. So by advertisement, by looking at the prospectus, I also thought that the company is manufacturing toy guns. But after some years, they started without taking permission from the respective governments, respective authorities, they started preparing original guns. So that is against the law. That is against the company's objects clause. So I may approach the court, I may approach the concerned authority, and I may cancel the contract. I may get back my money. Similarly, suppose if because of the misstatements in a prospectus, I have lost some money because I believe in prospectus. I believe whatever that is mentioned in the prospectus, I gave money to company. I have incurred some loss. So for that loss, if I prove in the court that it is because of prospectus only I have attracted towards a company, if I prove it, but I may get the damages from the company. So against the company, we can resign the contract, we can claim for the damages. These liabilities are known as civil liabilities. Against the persons responsible, against the company, we can initiate criminal proceedings also. So similarly, in civil liability only, against the directors, against the promoters, and against the experts, we can get compensation from them. We can get damages for non-compliance under Section 56 of Companies Act. For, see, misrepresentation means giving false statement. It may be of two types. See, knowingly giving misrepresentation. I know that they, see, suppose let us take for example, now admission time is there. Tomorrow, DOST notification is going to be issued. See, in DOST notification, you all got admission because of through DOST notification only. See, in order to attract students, what I will mention, let us take for example, in my college, every room has a smart board. In every room, AC facility is there. For each student, separate desks are there, separate chairs are there. Likewise, I will give several misrepresentations. So those willingly I have done. I know that there is no smart board in every class. There is no AC in every class. Okay. So this is fraudulent misrepresentation. Means we want to fraud the students. We want to cheat the students. So in that case, that is known as fraudulent misrepresentation. For that one, even more punishment, more penalty will be levied on the directors or the promoters or the experts who have prepared the prospectus. So that is why preparing prospectus is also very, very important. You should take utmost care in preparing prospectus. So suppose without our knowledge, I do not have any intention of cheating the students. Let us take, for example, same brochure, admission brochure I will prepare. My in every class, what I mention is, in every class, what I mention is, at least 6-7 fans are working, I mentioned. At the time of admissions, see, now this is July month, next month starting. Up to September, they worked. But in October, because of technical reason, for some days, the power went off to a particular classroom, or to a particular wing, fans went off, power went off. So that this is innocent representation. See, I am taking at least maximum care in getting them repaired, but it takes some time. Okay, so that is a misstatement in the prospectus, but for innocent misrepresentation. I thought that they will work very nicely. Even in case of a repair, I thought that I can immediately get it repaired. But due to circumstances, I could not do it. So that is innocent representation. In that case, punishment will be very less. Yes, one student mentioned in the chat box, I don't want to name that person, that even fans are not working. Yes, sometimes it happens in our house also. Don't worry. Okay, I hope The next year you will get very good fans and everything very nicely would be happening in the college. Okay. So these are the liabilities for a misstatement in the prospectus. That is why prospectus need to be prepared very nicely. There should not be any intention of cheating public, of cheating prospective investors. Okay. The prospectus should be prepared honestly, or with utmost care should be taken in preparing prospectus. Okay. So coming to our next topic is about various meetings. See, in a company, various meetings will be held. So meetings may be between directors, between shareholders, between creditors. Normally these meetings will take place between shareholders, between directors, between creditors. Okay. So what is a meeting actually? What do you mean by meeting? Yes, what is meeting?
Sitting together and discussing, yes, sir.
Very good. Sitting together and discussing about something. Very good. See, company means it will be engaged in crores of rupees business. So meetings need to be taking place on a regular basis to see to it that affairs of the company are maintained properly. Okay. So before we go to shareholders meeting, first of all, some terminology relating to meetings you should be aware of. So first one is notice of meeting. Okay. So whoever has to attend the meeting, the company should see to it that at least 21 days before the meeting, each and every person who has to attend the meeting gets notice to it. Okay. What is notice? See, in class also, in college also, you will get notices frequently. What is notice? What will you see in the noting? What will you see in the notice? What is notice?
Information.
Information will be there regarding, suppose tomorrow is a holiday or from tomorrow onwards examinations have to take place. So notice will be circulated or at least kept in the website. Okay. Similarly, in companies also, every person who has to attend the meeting, that person will be issued a notice. Okay. So companies registrar responsibility it is to see to it that the person's company register, he is responsible to see to it that the person who has to attend a meeting will receive notice in proper time, sufficient time, so that he can attend the meeting. Okay. 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 See, similarly, with regard to company, you will have AGM. What is AGM? Yes, please.
Shopping app. Online
AGM,
shopping app.
AGM means what?
Online shopping app, sir.
No, with regard to this meeting, company meeting, A stands for annual. This you have to remember. Annual general meeting. Annual general meeting. Okay. See, annual general meeting, as the name itself implies, yearly once it needs to be held. In case of annual general meeting, the persons who have to attend the meeting, if they give consent, because every year it is a ritual, every year it takes place automatically. So in that case, 21 days of notice is not required. Please remember this point. So normally for any meeting, 21 days prior notice should be circulated to the persons who have to attend the meeting, who have a right to vote in the meeting. But in case of annual general meeting, if every member is satisfied, if every member who has a right to vote in that meeting give their consent that 21 days notice is not required. Okay. Please remember that point. Okay. So that is notice, the importance of notice. Now coming to next one. See, agenda of the meeting. What do you mean by agenda?
Motive, sir.
Very good. Motive. See, in another case, see in the first slide of this semester, what I have mentioned, entire syllabus I have given in that first slide. Means we have to discuss all those points. Similarly, in agenda also, whatever topics that need to be discussed in the meeting will be listed. Like suppose if you take the case of a college meeting, admissions, results, internal examinations, so issuing of TCs, issuing of certificates, okay, participation in co-curricular activities like NCC, NSS, everything will be there. Similarly, in case of company, see, last month, what is the business that has taken place? How much profit is obtained? What is the increase in assets of the company? What is the increase in liabilities of the company? Likewise, suppose if the company want to expand its business, where they want to establish, like that they mention. So that is what agenda means. Okay. So agenda requires, agenda indicates those issues that need to be transacted at a meeting. Means those issues that need to be discussed, transacted means on them discussion will take place on those points. Okay. Agenda upper hand. Okay. Agenda. So in a meeting, what needs to be discussed, on what issues we are going to discuss, that will be specified in agenda of the meeting. Okay. While preparing agenda, see, in case of notice, I mentioned a person's name. Who is responsible to issue notice in a company? Yes. Yes, who is the person responsible for issuing a notice? I mentioned in the last 5 minutes, I mentioned. I wrote also. Who is that person in a company? Who is responsible to issue notice? Just now I mentioned, no. Say in a company, secretary is responsible for issuing a notice. Similarly, in a company, secretary has to see to it that agenda is prepared nicely. These things should be kept in mind. Did I tell or not? Secretary is responsible for issuing notice. I told, no?
Yes, sir.
See, so company secretary is responsible to set the agenda also. So while preparing agenda, the agenda should be clear and explicit. Means there should not be any ambiguity. It should be prepared clearly. Okay, no, without no spelling mistakes or without any ambiguity, without doubts, everything, whatever points that are to be discussed in a serial order, he has to mention. Okay, it should be drafted in a summary manner. So the only gist, main point of the meeting should be written. That's all, no, not paragraphs. Only point, examination, results, admissions, like that. That about them, subsequently in the meeting they will discuss. But a admission bullet point is enough. You need not write paragraph to paragraph on admission. That will be discussed in the meeting. Okay. All items of routine business should be put down first. So whatever we are going to discuss, we have to discuss on a routine basis. They should come first. And after that, say controversial matters, means contentious. Contentious means there is a contention, there is a fight. Those issues will be discussed later. Means first of all, peaceful issues should be discussed. Then afterwards, any controversial issues, any contentious issues should be discussed. Okay. Next, all items of similar nature should be placed in a continuous order. Okay. So similar things, similar points, similar issues should be discussed at first. Then afterwards, any from one point to next category of point, you should go in a serial order. See, about BCom, BBA, one discussion. About BSc, another discussion. About BA, another discussion. But after BCom, BA. Again after BA, BBA. Again after that one, BSc. Like that, it should not be discussed. BCom and BBA, serial. Then BA, then BSc. So all those items which are of similar, which are interrelated, should be discussed first. Then afterwards, the next one. Okay. So that is what we mean by agenda. Okay. Next, proxy. Say, have you ever heard of this word proxy? Yes, have you ever heard of this word?
Yes, sir, but don't know the meaning, sir.
Okay, proxy means, suppose, see, in our class, Karthik is ill for the last 10 days or last 1 month. Let us take for example, not for example, seriously on. Now you see, can he send any other person to attend a class on behalf of him? His father or mother or his brother or his friend or his any other relative, can he send?
No, sir.
No, he cannot send. Okay, but in case of company, suppose I have purchased LIC, Life Insurance Corporation shares. LIC has specified that on 10th, they are going to hold a meeting, that is AGM, annual general meeting will be held. Let us take for example. Okay, but I cannot attend because during those days examinations will be held in our college. So what I can do, I have a right to vote. In that case, what I can do is, on behalf of me, I can send any other person. It may be my friend, it may be my father, the person may be my mother, the person may be my brother, the person may be my sister. Any other, the person may not be a member of the company. The person may be having no relation, any relation with the company. The person need not have any relation with the company. But I have the right to send any other person to act on behalf of me. And remember, the person has a right to vote for on behalf of me also. Because I have one vote in electing a person. I am unable to attend. For me, I am sending my friend. He will vote in the meeting. Did you understand? So a proxy is a person who acts for the original member in a company. Proxy is a representative of the shareholder. Proxy is a member who is sent on behalf of another person to attend a meeting and vote in that meeting. That is what we mean by saying proxy. Okay, the term proxy, the word proxy is applied to the person who is appointed for another person. See, here I am standing. Here LIC is there. This person is sent by me to attend the meeting and to vote for me. So I am not the proxy, but he is the proxy. He acts for me. He votes for me on behalf of me. Did you understand? Okay. Not only that, it refers to the instrument by which a member of a company appoints another person to attend the meeting and vote on his behalf. Because whatever document that I give him, whatever document which authenticates his attendance in the meeting, his voting in the meeting, all those instruments will be called as proxy. Okay, that is what we mean by saying proxy. So regarding meetings, so before we discuss about shareholders meetings, directors meeting, creditors meeting, we should be thorough with the terminology. Means, first of all, what do you mean by notice of the meeting? Secondly, agenda of the meeting. What is the meaning of agenda? Then proxy. Okay. So similarly, but you have to remember, a proxy has no right to speak at the meeting. A proxy cannot speak at the meeting. Please remember it. Okay, he can simply sit, and at the time of voting, he can exercise vote on behalf of me. That's all. We should not stand and speak something against the company or for the company, against me or against the company director. He cannot speak anything. He has no right to speak. He can only attend the meeting and he can vote in the meeting. That's all. Okay. So these are points regarding proxy. He need not be a member of the company. The proxy I mentioned, no, the proxy need not have any relationship with the company. Any outsiders, if I appoint, that is enough. The instrument appointing a proxy must be in writing and signed by the appointee. Suppose I am appointing somebody else to represent me in the company meeting. So it orally, if I say, means that is not enough. It should be in writing and should be signed by me. Okay. Simply, if I make a phone call or I send a WhatsApp message to the company registrar or to the company director or to the company auditor, it is not enough. Okay. The proxy form must bear the date of the meeting. So similarly, everything should be clearly mentioned. The date of meeting, on which date he has a right to vote for me on behalf of me. That should be mentioned. With the date, I have to sign and I have to write his name. Okay. No company can make it compulsory for anybody to lodge proxies earlier than 48 hours before the meeting. Okay. So it is not required 2 days before only you should have informed us about proxy. Likewise, nobody can enforce me. Nobody can force me. Okay. It is not required. For meeting directly with the appointment letter, proxy can attend and can vote. Even 2 days prior intimation is also not required. Okay. Similarly, you have to remember a proxy may be revoked before the person appointed has voted. What do you mean by revoking? Revoke means what? Please remember, I will tell you with an example. Suppose, see, on 10th, meeting is there in Life Insurance Corporation, I mentioned, 10th July. At 1 p.m., meeting is slated, voting is slated at 1 p.m. So I have appointed some X to attend the meeting. He went there, he went at 10 o'clock only and he sat up to 12:30. He has authentication letter from me with the date of the meeting. But before he is voting, I can directly attend the meeting and I can stop him. Baba, I came and I am going to vote. I can send him out. So that is what we mean by saying revoking before the person appointed has voted. This is before 1 only, no, at 1 o'clock voting takes place. But I can remove him before 1. Okay, before 1, I can revoke his order. Means I can change his order. That is what we mean by saying revoking. I can stop him from voting. Okay. Then a proxy can demand a poll. See, I told initially that he cannot speak at the meeting. But in case of any issue, he can demand a poll. Sir, I will request you to conduct a poll in this matter. Likewise, he can raise his voice, that's all. But he cannot indulge in any other speaking, any other dialogues. I want voting on a particular agenda, on a particular issue like this. Okay. So similarly, a proxy cannot vote against the wishes of his appointment. I told him that you should vote that person in a director's voting or any other voting. But he should follow my guidelines. He should not do on his own. Okay, that is the error in proxy. Proxy should act according to my wishes only. So this is about proxy. I hope you understood. So today what we have learned about proxy, we have learned about agenda, about notice of the meeting we have learned, and a misstatement in the prospectus also we have learned. In the next class, we will learn some more things. Thank you very much, dear students. We will meet again in the next class.